wonderful sweet babies. So today we're going to be talking about Arrogant Tay owing over $69,000 from not paying his rent. So as you guys could see, there are documents back here that allegedly are stating that Arrogant Tay hasn't been paying his rent from an apartment that he had in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, I am going to be using the words allegedly because I didn't see many blogs post this, but I do know that a lot of different blog sites, they do, have good rapport with certain people that they do post, so they try not to post them in negative lights. Which is why I really love Your Faves Before IG, because I noticed that they, are really just about integrity and posting the content that they receive from different celebrities. For them, it's not really about, oh, this person, I know them, they're my friend or whatever. I'm not sure if they have good rapport with certain people, but I just know that they post things just because it's news. So now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to go through the alleged documents and we will, break down everything. So feel free to pause it when you want to, but this is pretty much the documentation proving that, Arrogant Tay owes money and they're taking this to a jury and, these are pretty much the documents. So this is pretty much like a 2-page document here. I actually blew it up and made it bigger because I wanted you guys to see some of the big parts that we will be talking about today. So the document's pretty much saying that July 26, 2021 through July 31st, 2022, there was a lease agreement between Arrogant Tay and his landlord. In that lease agreement, the alleged property, which is there on the screen that I have highlighted, which is like the second one. So this is the alleged location. So here it actually states that he owed $15,000 a month in rent. It also says that if he didn't completely, pay the rent within 5 days, then it would be considered late. So for those of you guys that don't really know about rent or anything like mortgage or just bills in general, if you don't pay the bills on time, legally they are, able to add on any kind of interest for you not paying your bills on time. Now, honestly and truthfully, I think that this is insane because if you weren't able to pay the amount that they gave you in the first place, then why penalize you and give you more money to have to pay? But it's just all a part of, system's way of trying to capitalize and get more money off of consumers. So here is pretty much the part 2 of that big, huge document that we just went over. So they actually stated that his late charge fees was going to be 15% off of the $15,000 if he ended up having to pay late fees. And then this here is saying that in December of 2023, he actually made a partial payment and he paid $8,000 of the $15,000 that he was supposed to pay. And then they're saying also that, he failed to pay the $7,000 that he needed to pay extra, which was a part of his rent. So with that remainder, they were going to add the 15% onto the $7,000 that he failed to pay. And then down here at the bottom, it's pretty much saying that with him vacating the property, he actually had over $27,000 of damage to the property, allegedly. Once again, I just want to be clear that all of this information is alleged. We don't know if Arrogant Tay really, did all these things, but these are documents that are coming out stating that he allegedly did these things. Here's another document here. If you guys want to just take time and read it yourself, feel free. I zoomed it in a little bit so you guys can pretty much see some of the things that they're saying. So I didn't highlight anything on this page, but one thing that I do see is that they're saying that the damage for the breach contract is all the way accumulating up to the $69,000 as well. Because as you guys know, once you do rent and stuff like that, you are under contract. So you're either under contract for 6 months, a year. For Arrogant Tay, it looked like they put him in a contract for this rent for 2 years. Which I don't know why on God's green earth you would agree to a contract for 2 years to stay someplace. But that's what he did. Now, here's where the meat and potatoes comes, you guys, because this is the document proving that, allegedly proving that Argente put down his information and, was stating that these are places you can contact him in regards to his paying his rent. So I went ahead and, highlighted everything. And, this pretty much expresses where he would be paying, how they can communicate with him, as well as the people that are renting out to him. Here's another piece of documentation. If you guys want to pause it and read it for yourself, go ahead. I went ahead and highlighted things that I thought was important. So as you guys could see up here at the top, we do actually have Argente's real name, which is Deontay Gray. And, he put all of his information there, as well as we have the property. We have the date of the agreement, which we had already kind of went over. The amount that he would be owing, which this is where things get a little mixy because I'm not sure if this is two different properties in which he did not pay for things, but I'm seeing that there's Atlanta addresses, there's Texas addresses, and then one minute we see 13,000 and then another minute we see 15,000. So if y'all are catching something that I'm not catching, please mention it in the comments. And then, here's the signatures and things of that nature saying that he agrees to everything. And I went ahead and, just highlighted everything. Once again, we're seeing that pricing of 15. So once again, I'm a little bit confused. If y'all are noticing something that I'm not noticing, please let me know. But yeah, it looks like everything is leading to Atlanta. I'm not sure if the Texas address was of the landlords or what, but that's kind of what it's looking like to me. So here's my thoughts. Honestly, this is extremely embarrassing. The thing is, Argente just recently came forth and expressed that he charged a client $1,600 to get her hair done by him. So my whole thing is, if he has enough clientele, then he should have had enough money to pay his rent. Because all of these dates are also proving that he was still Argente around this time. So if he is charging clients $1,600 to get their hair done, then he should have had plenty of money to get his rent paid. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. $15,000 for rent is actually insane, especially to live in an apartment. I'm not exactly sure if it is an apartment or not, but I'm pretty for certain that it's an apartment. Honestly, even if it is a home, that's still a lot of money as well. My whole thing is these celebrities, as well as these influencers, these, MUAs, hair designers, nail techs, they all claim as if they are making these top dollars. But then once we find out documents like this, then we're seeing that they are struggling to even make bare minimum to pay their mortgage or their rent. Or they're not even able to really get all their properties paid for, or they just owe back a lot of money to different brands. I'm just going to leave you guys with this, especially for the people that have not yet, obtained rent or mortgage or anything of that nature. Don't try to live above your means to keep up with anybody in this world. Because half of these people that you're looking up to thinking they have all this money, I'm telling you right now, they are broke. A lot of your fave influencers, they actually probably link up with other influencers and they're probably all sticking the rent together. Just so they can prove that they're living the lavish lifestyle when in reality they are not. There's probably only one or two people that live in a house of like 10 that make good money, and they're probably still struggling. And that good money that they're making, they're literally only making it once a month, especially if they do things like YouTube or TikTok to maintain a living. So please don't look up to these people. Do what you can afford and don't look to impress anybody but yourself. A win is a win, so if you've got an apartment and you're paying from $1,000 to, $1,500 to maintain it, good for you. That's great. Do what you can afford and don't do anything outside of that. Once again, I just want to mention all of this information is alleged. But that's my opinion. What's yours?